Welcome to Fun and Games Side Quests. Every episode is a different host sharing a video game they love and why they love it.
Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Side Quests. We are at another milestone episode, the big 450, which puts us even closer to 500, which puts us even closer to 1,000, which felt like a pipe dream, which now we're halfway to it, and I'm just like, oh my god, maybe in my lifetime we'll get there. The release schedule helps, doing 3 every 2 weeks, but we are going to get to our game in a moment. You obviously clicked on the episodes, so you know what we're talking about. But before we get to that, I have to introduce my 2 co-hosts, because when we do a milestone episode, in case this is your first episode, we do a panel, more longer form version of the core side quest experience. That way we can bring other folks to celebrate these games with us. And I, of course, bring in to introduce first my partner in crime in all things podcasting, the incredible Jen Moonen. Jen, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me. I do wonder if there's a bar graph somewhere of length of side quest episodes, and there's just a weird fence spike or something of every 50 episodes, but that's not important. What's important is what we're here for. That's Mega Man 4.
Yes, and to join us, one of the biggest Mega Man dorks I know, and one of the hosts of Super Ghost Radio, it is the one and only Gerry Thomas. Gerry, thank you for being here.
Thank you, both of you. It's so good to see you.
Yes.
Likewise, I feel like we haven't seen each other.
It's been a minute.
I feel like it's been a while for you and I.
Yeah.
Jen, I feel like we've seen each other sooner.
But
I was in this room.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
the last time I recorded with you, Gerry, was, I can't remember if it was Super Pod or Super Ghost.
It wasn't with Super Ghost.
No.
It was still with Super Pod, because Super Ghost is only a year old now.
Right.
We cut the radio off.
Right. Yes.
Right.
and then we adopted Aaron. We found him out in the cold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Save that poor boy.
Yeah. Then we just decided we're gonna make a super group, and
love it.
Now we're actually kind of dipping a little bit out of the podcast. Mm-hmm. And getting more into video content. And I can talk about that now, because by the time this comes out, we'll actually have weekly videos coming out, 2 to 3 videos per week of different shows, different types of shows. And then we're just going to do a monthly podcast.
Amazing.
And the monthly podcast will just be kind of a recap of everything that we've played that month, anything important. I think Aaron and I might do a super important breaking news, but it's we're just covering the dumbest shit ever. Greg told us we're not allowed to do any more Britney Spears coverage, so that's out the door.
Show me.
Look, man, when I seen her light that cigarette up on that plane, I was like, well, I mean, video game coverage or not, let's talk about it. But yeah, no, I truly appreciate both of you having me on here.
Good to have you.
It's Mega Man. It's Mega Man. My profile picture on everything is Mega Man.
It's funny. I did actually ask online, do I know any Mega Man fans? Totally forgetting that you would be the perfect fit for this. And you were just like, Matt, me. Well,
it's that thing that gets so, it is so core to your identity and what you put out into the world and through podcasting and content and everything else, that it's kind of a no, that of course. It's like RSTLNE. It's no, Gerry loves Mega Man. Are there any Mega Man freaks out there? Roll back what you said for a second.
Okay. Yeah. And we'll give you plenty of time to promote all that cool stuff coming out at the end of the show. But before we really jump into things, we, of course, are here to talk about Mega Man 4. And it's always funny when Jen and I are trying to decide what we want the milestone episode to be about before we find a guest. We're always trying to dig into franchises, sometimes thinking about recent stuff. But the last couple of episodes, 400 excluded, it's been classic games where how has no one covered this? We should cover this. And so we are today talking about Mega Man 4, which was developed and published by Capcom for the NES. It came out in Japan in December of 1991, and then North America in January of 1992, and then in the EU not till August of 1993. So this huge gap. Yeah, it's wild. And that was pretty common back then for the EU to get games much later, sometimes not even get them at all. But this is a 2D run and gun platformer, the 4th entry in the Mega Man series. 6 games came out on the NES for Mega Man, which is unheard of now for like 6 entries of anything to come out on one console. The development cycles were much shorter back then. And this is a pretty seminal game for me. So we'll go around. I'll go first, talking about like my first exposure to this game and when I first played it. So Mega Man 2 was a game I think I got with my console, and then got Mega Man 3 shortly after. They'd already been out. But Mega Man 4 was the first game I remember seeing commercials for and print ads for. And like I was waiting for the release date because I'm old. And like I remember being so excited for this game, and it was one of like the earlier, like I remember the purple packaging, and it was one of the earlier NES games that I remember like anticipating the release of, like this, Ninja Turtles 3, like all of these games that came out around the early to mid 90s. I just remember being really excited for, and like I've been a fan of this game basically since then. It's hard for me to choose between 2, 3, and 4 as my number one. If I really had to pick, it's probably 3, but 4 is pretty close to being one of my favorites. I had it on the NES, played the shit out of it. When the collection came out on the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube, I got the collection on the GameCube and played it there. And then when they re-released the collection on modern consoles, I bought it on the Switch. I think I have it on PC as well. I have bought this game many times and played it many times. I unfortunately don't have my original release of it anymore. I'm trying to recollect some of my classic games, but yeah, I love this game. And like, if I were to cover any of the Mega Man games, this would be one of the first ones to do. And so the fact that it hadn't been done yet and that we get to do it here is really exciting for me. So I'm going to throw it to you next, Gerry. Did you play this when this game first came out, or did you get to it later?
So I have a odd tale of how I got to this game. I didn't actually ever own an NES when I was a kid. By the time I got my first video game console, it was just the Super Nintendo. But the Super Nintendo wasn't my first console. Technically, my first console was a Game Boy. And the 2 games that I got for that Game Boy, the day I got that Game Boy, were Mega Man 3 and Mega Man 4. So I started on the Game Boy. And then eventually, when I got my Super Nintendo, I realized, oh my God, I can plug this into the Super Game Boy, and then it's color. And I'm like telling all my friends, I'm like, you're not going to believe this. Like, you can play Mega Man on our TV. Just come over, I'll show you. And then there's this one asshole kid that was just like, yeah, but like, it looks way better on my NES. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, it's on my NES, like just come over and play it there. This looks stupid.
Robot Masters.
Like, so I'm like, I don't believe you. Like it's on Game Boy. I have it. It's right here, and I can play it on my Super Nintendo. And he's like, no, come over. So we go over to his place, and I'm like, hey, whoa, what? This isn't the same game. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, there's like extra people on the screen because on the Game Boy there's only 4. You only get to pick 4 of the Robot Masters at the beginning, and then if you beat those 4, or once you beat the first 4, it gives you the next 4.
Yeah.
So I'm like looking at the screen, I'm like, what is going on here? Like, why is there so many more than what I have? Because I hadn't gotten past half of them at that point. So that was when I finally played Mega Man 4 on NES at this kid's house, and then I was like, I had to be that guy. I had to be like, yeah, so like, do you want to like be best friends or something now? Because I mean, I talk shit on this kid so hard, and then I'm like, but he actually has the best thing, and I don't have the best thing now, and I look like an idiot. So you guys want to just like be best friends and let me play at your house all the time? Oops. And I totally used that kid for that game, and then was like, see ya.
God damn.
I'm a bad person.
We all make mistakes as kids. Some people are.
No, I'm just kidding.
We have all. Listen, I think if you become an adult and you didn't pull at least something that could be classified as a grift as a child,
yeah,
not legally, but like you need to look in your past and go, what was the thing that I did that would be my grift, or like.
Oh no, Jim, we don't have time for this for me.
No, I understand. But I'm just saying, like, that's childhood sociopathy. That's fine. Don't take it with you as an adult, and here we are.
Well, let's go to Jen. Jen, what's your earliest experience with Mega Man 4?
Mega Man 4 was... So the thing is, I did grow up with an NES, and it was one that was plugged into the jankiest TV in our house in my older brother's room. So the NES was the console that I played more or less by my brother's leave. And there were games that we got that were meant for me, or ones that I asked for, and certainly the latter day stuff. But there was also a whole host of games that, look, I can think about it as hard as I can. I can't tell you when and why and how. I can look at release dates and maybe make a through line, but all this to say that the Mega Man games that my household had that were in my brother's room were Mega Man 3 and Mega Man 4. So those were the ones that I played. I probably played a lot more Mega Man 3 because there was that whole left-in developers thing where you can hold direction buttons on the second controller to glitch out the game. So we turned Mega Man 3 into a 2-player game, and I would help my brother out. And I also then learned how to play using the second controller, pushing it with my feet so I could do that, and then I could beat Mega Man 3 like that. But I played a ton of Mega Man 4. No, look, all you got to do is hold the right button on the second controller and you would super jump. You could fall in a pit and jump out of the pit. If you held the up button, it would freeze the sprite cycling. So
and you did this with your feet?
Yeah, it would be hold down the button. It wasn't like Dance Dance Revolution. It was just like vague directions, hold them down. And then
how old were you when this was happening? Because I swear to God, if I seen this when I was even an 11-year-old kid, I'd be like, this is the most gifted kid I've ever met in my life.
I was like 7 or 8. I'm not gifted. Okay. I'm just weird.
Isn't this how everybody plays their video games?
Look, I feel like it is notable, but it is middle of the pack as far as weird kid shit. But we're not talking Mega Man 3. We're talking Mega Man 4. And this was the game that I definitely put a ton of time into. And Mega Man games in particular have so much enticement about them. You start the game up and here are 8 robot masters with intriguing names and cool little portraits and what are they like and what are their stages like. And growing up, one of the things that I had was a Nintendo Power strategy guide. I have a copy in the booth with me so I can bring it in. The Nintendo Power Top Secret Passwords. And this thing had the passwords for Mega Man 2 through 4 on the NES, as well as 2 and 3 on 1 and 2 on the Game Boy. So I would have the Mega Man 4 page and just look at all of the bosses. This is how I got my boss order, and it is the boss order I still do to this day. And there were, I don't know, so many cool things about it that were, instruction manuals, strategy guides, things like that you could look at as a kid who sucked at video games and were just like, but what about one day when I beat Dr. Cossack? What about those things? The picture that they have for Cossack's castle for the bosses is the very first boss. So when I got to that and I beat it, I didn't think I'd finished it, but there was just such a sense of awe and a sense of, what else is there? Because again, Mega Man 3, I knew how to cheat at it, so I had gotten to the end of that thing a ton. Mega Man 4 remained a white whale until I was an adult. And I did get the Anniversary Collection on the PS2. I do have the Legacy Collection now. I literally just, for shits and giggles, spent the $50 on Humble Bundle a few days ago to get that Mega Man Legacy Collection Volumes 1 and 2, X Legacy Collection.
That was a really good deal.
It was a good deal. And I already had them, but now they're all in one place. Once again. I'll get the trophies again. You know how it is. But no, I don't know if I've gotten it as many times as you, Matt, but it's one that has stuck with me. And when we were talking about doing this, I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to play this on my NES again. I sold most of my collection when I was in college. So I was like, yeah, I've got some Mega Man games. I've got the early ones. Surely I've got 4. Now I've got 1, 2, and 3 now. So what this episode has proven is I need to get a copy of 4. 5 and 6 are expensive, but I could probably track down 4. This should be fine.
Yeah, it's one of those games that I think kind of set the standard a lot for Mega Man games going forward.
Definitely.
3.
Oh my God, yes.
3 and 4 especially, but the slide and the charge shot are so integrated into this game. And it's funny, the fact that if you don't jump through the boss doors, you are a fake fan. Like it is just
Oh,
like
you're a
that's how
sociopath
you
if you don't do that.
Yeah,
There's
right.
Like,
We can all agree, right? Like you belong in prison if you don't jump through doors.
You are allowed to occasionally do it. Like shit happens, okay? We're not gonna we're not policing you.
Don't have to give a pass. We
Right.
don't have to pass anybody here.
But the thing is, if that impulse isn't in you, like I don't know, it's a fundamental thing. It's honestly the fact that Mega Man 4 gave us the Mega Buster. One of the reasons why I wouldn't charge at certain times is because it added a lot of lag, and holy shit, Mega Man 4 has a lot of lag.
Yeah,
it does.
There's a lot of sprites. Mega Man games on the NES were always ambitious, and so this was one of the points of ambition for Mega Man 4. But I would always charge because, listen, if you played NES, you were raised on Mario Brothers and stuff where it's like hold down the run button. There is always a button to hold down. Mega Buster, I got a button to hold down. Hell yeah, this is video games.
Exactly. I think if you see it's like if you see something, say something kind of thing. Like if you see somebody playing a Mega Man game and they don't jump through that door, you stop them and go, okay, listen, we gotta talk, okay? You don't walk through those doors. You're goddamn Mega Man. You gotta jump through those doors and float in the air.
You gotta ask him.
But like,
is everything okay at home?
Did you also listen to this soundtrack the same way that I did, where it was just sounded like someone was being strangled the whole time? Because it was like, because like you're just charging the entire time, so the whole soundtrack just like warbles the entire time. There's good songs too. There's really good songs.
I was about to say it's a shame because the soundtrack's bangers. It's Mega Man. But also.
Yeah, I've always held my charge shot. And it's funny, too. I thought the soundtrack sounded funny when I first started it up. And I was just like, oh, there was a missing element. I mean, like, we can start with the soundtrack because this is one of the best. I think 2, 3, I mean, all Mega Man games have really good music. But I think 2, 3, and 4 were some of the best boss themes, some of the best stage themes. Farrowman and Skullman are like my top 2 in this one. Like
Skullman has drum breaks in it.
It's just so like
yeah.
It like the design, the thing that Capcom's always done well is soundtracks since the NES and up until today. But there's something special I think about 3 and 4 especially because they feel modern. Jen and I know have talked about this before, but when Overclock Remix was the only way you could get video game remix songs, Mega Man 3 and 4 were the top of the charts all the time. 90% of the songs that I had downloaded that were dance remixes were of Mega Man songs because they are just so fun to build on.
Yeah, they're Mega Man games or Sonic games. It was all about blue characters.
Yes.
So what's your top 4 songs on this soundtrack?
I mean, my number 1 is Skullman, without a doubt. I really actually like the boss theme in this one. I think the Dive Man stage is really great.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
And then, I mean, it's hard to pick between the Wily and Cossack stages both have really great tracks. I think I like the Cossack Castle better just because it feels different. You know, the Wily castles over the years have mostly sounded similar. They've got a similar vibe, you know, even though the songs are different.
Yeah.
I got a soft spot for Toadman.
Toadman's a good one.
I think that might be because I always start the game with Toadman, and it's got that
As
nice
God intended.
Look, it's a tricky stage. Once you're past it, you're past it, and Toadman is a goddamn joke of a fight.
Yeah. Once you get close quarters, he just jumps over you constantly. The first time I did that, I was like, did I break the game? Oh no, that's his pattern. That's what he does.
Just sucks.
Yeah, he hops
just
around.
Sucks.
His hips don't lie. That's all it is.
It's true.
Like
he is a thick boy.
I loved that little wiggle motion he gave. Like it meant bad times, but you'd see it when you start the fight. So you know what? Cool. Thanks, buddy. Easy fight.
Yeah.
Can we just say for a second too that the wind and the water in that level can go to hell?
Yes. Yes, without a doubt.
Once again, those were not the jumping challenges I ever struggled with as a kid. I got used to a certain. It wasn't Ninja Gaiden 2 where the wind would constantly change.
Oh, God.
If you were in the rain, it was consistent. If you're on the water, it was consistent. You had to pay it. It was just an additional element. Where especially in replaying it now, and definitely as a kid, the big old like middle finger screw you were the weird little platform jumps where there was something you could bump into along the way. If it was
like in
impeding
Brightman's
you,
stage with those stupid like U-shaped things.
those I got so
God,
good. Those have momentum to them. You
I
know,
know.
if you jump
Not the
just
green ones though.
no,
The
not
green ones
no.
kind of
Actually,
come
those
through.
still do too.
Do
It's
they?
a little, yeah. If you jump at the same spot on any of them, they will launch you. And so there again, things that have a certain consistency of motion to them were fine for me. It's the ones where, okay, I've got to jump off this platform onto the next one over spikes, and there's a platform directly above me. Oh no, I clipped that platform directly above me, completely killing my forward momentum, and now I've fallen on the spikes. Those were the ones that I would get frustrated with. If you're going to, and again, and maybe it's because Toadman is probably the stage I've played the most out of all of them. And, and Toadman is Brightman's weakness. So there again, like those were ones that I just like. If I'm just grinding it out, Toadman, Brightman, into Pharaoh Man, like these were the ones that I played all the time. So those kinds of challenges were like, yeah, let's go. And it's so funny to look at that.
What I just also picked up on with both of you, we share a commonality with our favorite Mega Man games because, like I said, I got 3 and 4 on a Game Boy first.
And
I fell in love
with
all the
bosses for 4.
3 is my favorite, and my favorite Mega Man song of all time is Snake Man.
Oh man, I mean Snake Man goes hard.
It's just so good.
Mega Man 3 as a soundtrack goes in directions that no other Mega Man game does. It goes so hard. It does such cool stuff.
Yeah.
But I will say, because again, we're not gonna backdoor Mega Man 3 into this side quest. I'm not. But I will say that the boss theme for Mega Man 4 is my Robot Master boss theme.
It's really good. I think it might be the best one.
Yeah.
Other ones are great. Other ones are fantastic. 4 is the one that, like, if I think of a Mega Man boss theme, just that like dun 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 dun, like that build up of it, like that is what I think of immediately, and that can't be overstated.
Yeah, it's also got that rise in the intro of it that like all of the boss themes across Mega Man's oeuvre have great like builds, but there's something plotting about this one that feels very different from the previous games. Also love that this is the first time of many in this series that there's a misdirect narratively. Also, like 2 had sort of a story, like there's the opening crawl, one of the best opening crawls in the history of video games, don't get me wrong. But like, and then 3 had a little more, but it wasn't until we got to 4 that there was a lot more story, there was a lot more development, there was and the first ever misdirect, which Dr. Wily will do many times after this.
Well, this was the way that they extended the story, where Mega Man 3 had that idea of, okay, after 2 times trying to take over things, Wily's going to be a good guy again and help out, and oh no, like some things have wandered off, and so then you have the dock robots as the secondary thing to extend the end game. But they couldn't very well do that again, so what is the first set of post Robot Master stages going to be? Well, there should be another problem, and so it's funny, like 2, 3, and 4 are definitely superb titles because Mega Man the original was fine. Good,
yeah,
even.
It's okay.
Fine.
Yeah.
2 was what made Mega Man Mega Man. If there was if there wasn't Mega Man 2, Mega Man would be one of those games that like people talk about, there'd be YouTube videos about it, and like, who remembers this thing? Like, it's worthwhile, man, what if somebody kind of thing. 2 made Mega Man happen. 3, like, sort of pushed beyond, overreached what 2 could do. It added the slide, it added some extensions, it had the dock robots, you could fight Mega Man 2 stuff. Mega Man 4 kind of codified a bunch of pieces that would carry through to 6 and beyond. You know, even not just design-wise, like the way that your power selection menu at the pause was or anything else, but that sense of pacing, they didn't add new powers necessarily. They added new unlockables in 5 and 6 and future stuff. And even in 4, even if you couldn't get beat or anything like that, there were still a few small branching paths. So there was a lot that they did in 4 that was kind of the like, it was new and exciting. And it's easy to get lost in, the Mega Buster, right? which was also great, and we'll talk about that in a sec, but there was a lot of things where they kind of polished, finished, slotted into place things that they were learning from 1, 2, and 3 that they didn't need to refine past 4. And that wasn't like they got lazy. It's like, no, they got that. They then got ambitious with other shit. But like those first 3, I feel like Mega Man 4 is a very complete feeling Mega Man. And possibly the first one that does.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that there are, like, I think all Mega Man games have flaws depending on what you're coming to these games for. But I think as far as a tight platformer with great controls, and like, they really, like, we talk about the Toes of Steel, that's just a running gag within this franchise. But like the platforming here, they really let you get within a pixel off that edge on the left, like on the back foot. And
it's
you can
almost
make
necessary
those
though sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I think of the Secret and Pharaoh Man stage at the beginning to jump across the quicksand, across the gap to get, I think that's where you get
Balloon. You just use Rush Coil.
Or you use Rush Coil, right? But you can do it either way. But what I do love is that whenever I die in a Mega Man game, it's never that I blame the controls. There are other things you can blame, like the stage layout or timing or whatever. But like for the most part, the controls are tight, the shooting feels good. And like playing these games, the great thing about even Mega Man 2, like what Jen is saying, from Mega Man 2 on until we get to the SNES, the games feel the same. Mega Man 1 feels a little different. It's a little floatier. It's a little less accurate. But from Mega Man 2 to Mega Man 6, mechanically, the base mechanics of run, jump, shoot, exactly the same. Completely identical. No other franchise on the NES did that. Mario 1 to Mario 2 to Mario 3, massive changes for the better.
Right.
Mario 2 could go either way, depending on how you feel about it. But like, still important, but major changes from game to game, gameplay wise. Mega Man changed things around the core gameplay, but the core gameplay stays exactly the same.
They increased how crazy the pixel art was.
Yes.
Around everything to do with the little guy. They never changed a goddamn thing with Mega Man because they were like, don't just leave him alone.
Right.
Just let him be. You can make this crazy snail as detailed as you want, but you just leave Mega Man be the little blue guy, okay?
Leave that sweet little blue boy. Yeah, no, absolutely. You have a good core gameplay loop there. And something like Mario was an athletic game, so there's like the running and jumping and everything else. Mega Man's physics are consistent.
Yeah.
He doesn't get faster or slower depending upon when he runs. His jump is very consistent. The shots are always the same speed. You can never have more than 3 shots on the screen at the same time. All of that. And yeah, Jerry, you're absolutely right. They overclocked everything around it, which I think was the right decision. You have consistent sprite assets for Mega Man, so that means you can lean in on level design and what you can make the NES do. It's why basically there was a Mega Man or Mega Man-like game from Capcom every year. Yep. I will argue this is what makes DuckTales a secret Mega Man game. However, and it absolutely is. And I think about how playing through Mega Man 4 again, I recognize all of those pieces of, like I said, they polished up a lot of things that they had done in previous titles. If Mega Man games have such a cool thing of, not just the jumping through the door, like that is absolutely fundamental, but the big drops that you do to get to the next part of a stage, like you go through a whole thing. Oh, is that a deadly pit? No, I just need to drop down that. Hell yeah. Like there's no falling damage. I'm a robot. But verticality going up, they were struggling with that even from Elecman in Mega Man 1, where there was a little bit of trickiness to it. And Clashman on Mega Man 2 did all right there. There was some fun stuff here and there. But Ringman feels like what Elecman and Clashman wanted to be. And I kind of love the Ringman stage. It's tricky. It's rough. It hurts. But I like it.
I know. I'm with you.
Yeah,
I think this game actually has some of the best level design in the NES series.
The sheer mounting antipieces within each of the stages where they don't. One of the nice things about the branching paths in Brightman stage, yeah, it has those, little launching moving platforms that are kind of like a little U-shaped slingshot. But if you go off the beaten path for a second, you end up in an area that's full of them, and it gets you an extra life and an energy tank, and then you have to go back. And you start with rush coil, so you can figure that out. You can do whatever you need to do, but it's a spot where you can do that where nothing is coming at you. You are not blacking out the lights or anything. And Ringman stage and all of these different stages and pieces that I'm not thinking of right now that I'm sure y'all can, that are a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. And that's Mega Man in general, but Mega Man 4 definitely does a great job with it.
Jerry made a really great point earlier about the graphics. Like, the thing that makes Mega Man stand the test of time, especially the original 6 games, even I'll include one in this, is the sprites are so well designed that it just, the vibe stays, even if you start to over-design the enemy sprites and other things. But also speaking to the level design along with the graphics, Mega Man 1, 2, and 3, most of the areas feel like a stage and less like a location, with some exceptions. Whereas I feel like 4 is the first time I got a real sense of place when I was playing those stages. They didn't feel like these arenas, right? I think of Woodman in the second game, right? Doesn't feel like a forest. It feels like a stage that's supposed to look like a forest. Whereas, like, the stage isn't, like, we were talking about Toadman's stage, feels like this industrial chemical rain,
raining and shit.
It's just they gave a real sense of place, and the graphical design that they just built on this engine and built on allowed us to get to that point. And yeah, Mega Man mostly goes completely unchanged in this game. Color sprites, a few different ways of, he has the arc shot for Pharaoh Man, which was different, a few different sprites that didn't exist in previous games, but for the most part is unchanged. Wily also. But then, we have Proto Man in his finalized design. We have Dr. Cossack and his daughter. All these different really cool things. And then, like, I think of the giant Ed fight in Dr. Wily's castle. I love the Eds. I love the helmets.
The Mets.
Mets. Thank you. The Mets. I love the helmets. I love, like, that giant Met fight against that. Like, it just feels so epic because it's a blackened room. He shows up, and then this design where he drops the smaller ones, and it's just, they took something that has been a staple since the first game and then blew it out of proportion in the same way that you fight, I can't remember if it's 2 you fight the Gutsman tank. I think it's 2 that has the Gutsman tank, or 3.
2 or 3. Yeah, 2 or 3.
It might be 3, but you fight a giant Gutsman tank, and it looks like Gutsman, but it's this gigantic tank. Like, they just really took what they had in previous games and ran with it, and they weren't trying to, like, break the bank as far as designing stuff outside the scope of what felt like a Mega Man game, but because the consistency of the character sprites, the Robot Masters, and Mega Man stayed fairly consistent, they could get really experimental with the other stuff, and it still looks great to this day. Like, I don't look at this game and go, it looks good for a Nintendo game. I think good, full stop, because of the
full stop.
Well, because also it's got a design ethos. It's not trying to be realistic. It's trying to be Mega Man. And so it just looks good. And Mega Man goes on to look better and different, or however you feel about it. But, like, these games look good because of their consistency and their experimentation. And I think 4 is the pinnacle of that design. I think 5 and 6 has some cool stuff, but I feel like 4, design-wise and graphics-wise, is kind of the high point for the series on NES.
Also, in terms of research, the Guts tank was for Mega Man 2.
It was Mega Man 2. Okay, so my initial memory was right. Yeah.
I think this game, like you were saying, like, just really, even now, like, if you were to show somebody this that didn't know somehow, some way what Mega Man is, and you were to show them, like, on a Steam page, like, dude, look at this game, look at the pixel art in this game, they'd be like, holy shit, this is the craziest pixel art. Like, is this like by the Shovel Knight guys? Like, they'd attribute it to, like, the greatest pixel art, because that's how I look at it. I'm like, there's overblown pixel art like that. I still like it, but, like, there's such a fine point with the Mega Man pixel art and what they did with it, where it's like, it's not too extra and it's not, like, dumbed down enough that it becomes bland, but it's like that perfect middle ground of just like I said, a snail. Yep. They were like, let's make this snail super detailed, and it looks like just the cartoony. It has such a style that I recognize it the same way that I recognize, like, Akira Toriyama for like Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
Like I see Mega
absolutely.
Man stuff and I'm like, oh, that's like a very Mega Man style animation.
Yeah. Well, and also there's the speaking to the animations, the expressiveness of Mega Man sprites have always been great, but I think the Robot Masters in particular, like Jen was talking about Toadman's hip shake, but even like I think of Dustman and the shoot when he shoots the dust block. You see it come up the chute. The chute shakes as it comes out the front. Like the amount of detail they put into these Robot Masters and the designs for them, or even the boss fights, you know, the ultimate bosses and the castles as well. It's just it's done so masterfully. And Mega Man, I think, will go on to have a rocky art style. Like I like 7 and I like 8 there, but they are far from perfect. They just don't feel as fine-tuned as I think this does. And then, you know, 9 and 10 go back to this style, but then they overclock the difficulty. Like
How do you feel about Mega Man and Bass?
So I don't have a ton of experience with it because we only got the really bad port of it. Yeah.
It's good. I think it's better than people give it credit for.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people slept on it because it didn't really come here for a long time. Like I played that game in full Japanese on an emulator like back in like 2000 when I discovered it, and I was like, what is this? You can play as Bass? What do you mean?
Before we had Mega Man X4 letting us really be Zero, we could be Bass, and that's important, damn it.
Yeah, it is. It's true. But yeah, I mean, I think that what makes Mega Man 4 really special is you can see, like, again, we don't get this with the development cycles now. They're so much longer, usually one game per franchise, per console. But when you get long franchises like this on one console, you can really see what they can do to push the limits. You know, I think of games like the Donkey Kong Country trilogy on SNES, right? I think of the Mass Effect trilogy on the Xbox 360 and then PS3. Like, games that get to iterate on the same platform and really show what they can do. And while, again, I think that 5 and 6 do some cool stuff, there's something about 4 that really takes what was Mega Man that was built, like Jen was saying, in 2 and 3 and perfected it in this one. I mean, just the Charge Blast itself, the design of it, like, my favorite thing was to jump through the door while I was charging and then be suddenly neon green for 1 pixel. A thing that I couldn't really capture when I was a kid that I can take screenshots of now and just makes my heart happy because it's ridiculous, but it looks so good.
Yeah, getting to charge while the Robot Master entered the room and did their, like, filling up their life bar thing, it gave a little bit of that, like, epic feeling, like, they're in, they pose, their life bar fills, and you are charging your first shot.
Yeah. My favorite thing was, like, when I would jump into a room with Farrah shot. If you hold the button at any point during the charge, the bubble appears above you while while you're waiting for the Robot Master's health to fill. It's just a
God, wasn't that bubble so satisfied to just see like pop up above his head?
To this day, I think Farrah shot is one of the best weapons because you get 2 shots. If you charge it, you can jump into them to hit them with it, and then you can still shoot the same big shot after. It made some of the bosses that were weak to it completely trivial.
Well, and that is one of the things about Mega Man 4, where it is certainly easier than the games that came before it. And whether that is good, bad, indifferent, it is worth noting. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It doesn't make it a kiddie game or whatever thing you want to say to, you know, be mad about it. But it does, all of those little ways that it streamlines, perfects, and, you know, fine-tunes the experience makes it a little easier. It makes it a little more accessible.
I'm here to tell you, I got good news. If you find this game too easy, play the Game Boy game. That shit ain't easy.
No, it's not.
It's essentially the same game,
just
in a
less
lot of
space to
ways.
avoid things.
Yeah.
Well, that and like I don't know. I think I am convinced that those Game Boy games are harder. The
I think you're
constraint of your vision is for sure one of those reasons.
Yeah, as somebody who's played a lot of handheld adaptations of console games, I will say the smaller resolution of a handheld screen adds a lot of challenge. Sometimes intended, sometimes very much not. Sonic 2 on the Game Gear versus Sonic 2 on the Master System. The Antlion boss, and I'll leave it at that.
What's really funny, just a quick aside on side quest.
Ah,
There is a ROM hack of this game
just
that
one.
turns Toadman into one of the most sadistic bosses I have ever witnessed.
The boss fight or the stage? Because I've played the minus
The
infinity
boss fight.
version where it becomes a
Is
maze.
the boss fight is ridiculous. Oh my god. It's just like unbelievably hard. And I think it's almost like a joke because whoever made I can't remember which ROM hack it is. It's either like Mega Man Forever or
Unlimited?
maybe it is Unlimited. But yeah, they made Toad because I think it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing of like, well, we all know how easy Toadman is. Like Toadman is a joke. His stage is ridiculously hard at first, but then you get in there and you're like, this is what you do? Like you just jump around a little bit. I could just kill you easily. And I think they just made him absurdly hard in the ROM hack just to kind of be like, hey, remember this guy? How easy he was? Not anymore.
And I will say that Mega Man 4 is the one that I see the most ROM hacks of.
Oh,
And I think some of that is because it's one of the more stable, I think, Mega Man games. After 4, if you got hit while charging, you'd lose your charge. After, you want a game where you have the slide and the charge shot. There's a lot of elements that go into this, and I think that's part of why 4 becomes the template that people build on. I know there's ROM hacks of all the Mega Man games. There's so many ROM hacks, but it's the one that I see most often talked about and will most easily find.
yeah,
for sure.
for sure.
But
Yeah, I think that this is an important game in my platform game history, in my Mega Man history, because I would go on to not really play 5 or 6. I wouldn't really get back into Mega Man until X and then 7.
Same.
Like, there was something
The exact
about...
same.
I don't know what it was. It might have been the time in my life because I moved on to the Super Nintendo is probably what it was. Like, or that I don't know. There's something about loving this game. Why would I want another Mega Man game? This is the best Mega Man game. But I do actually, having replayed Mega Man 2 last year and this year, I may dabble in some more Mega Man games because I have the collection. And I don't know that I've ever beaten 5 or 6. I know I've beaten 7 and 8 and so on. And I know I haven't beaten 9 or 10 because those games are fucking hard. But like
those games don't make sense.
Nope.
They don't make sense. They didn't need to do that.
I know in high school when I was putting emulators on my laptop, I intentionally in order beat 1 through 6 for Mega Man. So
Yeah.
I know I've
Really?
beaten all of them, but for some that was the last time I did it.
Did
Yeah.
you do it on a keyboard or did you use a controller?
Oh, keyboard.
You did the
Oh my
keyboard thing?
God.
Oh, okay, hang on. We got to talk about this. For your emulators, what were your mappings? Did you use the arrow keys in Z and X?
Nope. I did WASD for arrows. J was my B button. L was my A button. So I'd do first
my
and third
gosh.
finger for A and B.
Oh my god.
Jen, what the fuck?
Listen, I didn't need to use my feet.
That's true. And we've come full circle, folks. Thank you both for joining me to gush about this game. Like, I think that like this has inspired me to go replay a lot of this franchise. I mean, I love Mega Man. We're finally getting a new game, hopefully next year, from Capcom, a follow-up to 11. 11, which I think is a phenomenal game that really got slept on. I think it's the best 2D Mega Man game in a very long time. Especially considering how much I hated 9 and 10 because I'm a baby gamer who sucks at video games. But like, it's just like once Jen suggested that we do this game, I was like, of course, Mega Man 4. Why couldn't we? So I'm glad to have had you both to gush with me about this game. But with that said, if you want more of Gerry has done a solo side quest on one of the most underrated Nintendo games, I think, full stop, ever. Mystical Ninja Story Goemon. Like, it's just such a great game. I feel like nobody ever knows anything about it when I bring it up, and so definitely go check that out. That was episode 403. But Gerry, before we go, let folks know where they can find you online, find the stuff you're doing, check out the pods, the YouTube, all that good stuff.
First of all, thank both of you for having me on this. I've known both of you for quite a while now.
Yeah.
I think like we've been friendos for a while, and whenever friends of mine ask me to join in a show, let alone join in a show about Mega Man, come on, you're pulling on my heartstrings here. So I just want to say I really appreciate you guys having me on here. So with that, Super Ghost, we are on YouTube at Super-Ghost, I think. Let me just double check that. Actually, it doesn't matter. You can find it. You type in Super Ghost. And then Super Ghost on all your podcasting platforms. Like I said, we are moving to like a monthly kind of thing, and then kind of transferring into doing more of the video content. The first two shows that will for sure be going up and will probably be out by the time this comes out, Retro Roulette, where Aaron and we spin a big roulette wheel of a bunch of consoles, and then we spin that console's entire library, and then I have to play that game. And if I pass on it, then I got to play another game, and I got to play that for a full 10 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's a Japanese baseball game, I got to play it. And that has happened. And then the other show is Friends Who Fight, where I fight my friend Greg at fighting games. He's really good, and I'm just okay. And it's just like a bracket. And I hope that folks go out there and they go on Team Gerry, because I need the support. I need the love to try to beat this man. He's an evil man. But yeah, we're gonna do some cool things with Super Ghost this year, and maybe we'll be able to have both of you on for some cool things. Jen, we definitely need a host for a new game show.
Yeah, let's talk.
And Matt, we share so many of the same loves.
Yeah,
we loves the same loves, man. It's
always a pleasure.
One love.
You're a delight, Gerry. We love having you on the pod.
Couldn't have done this with anybody else.
Yes, without a doubt. Before we go, Jen, of course, take a moment to plug. I mean, folks here know you pretty well, but anything coming up outside of the podcast you want to direct people to? This will be out in like several weeks. In 6 years, yeah.
Yes, basically.
It's a capsule.
20XD6. Any of the things that I'm working on that I can be talking about, you can find on social media for me, which is Noise Generator with a silent G at the front, or on my website, jenmoonen.com, and stuff is up there, if it's not something that's already fun and games related.
Amazing. And I, of course, am Matt, a.k.a. Stormageddon. You can find everything here. I also do Reignite with Frankie Bradley Lestrange. We're currently still playing through Dragon Quest, or not Dragon Quest, fuck that. We're playing through Dragon Age 2. I mean, I like Dragon Quest.
You put me on a pedestal, and then you just threw me away.
BioWare Dragon Quest is a fuck of a thing.
I mean, I would love BioWare to do a Dragon Quest game. I think that would fucking rule, but neither here nor there.
Wild.
Anyway, who knows if BioWare will even be here in a year, but let's not go down that road. Anyway.
Do you want me to go ask them?
I know. You live right by them. Yeah, just go knock on their door.
Hey, is Casey in?
But yeah, Frankie and I are covering Dragon Age 2. We'll probably still be working on it. We're taking our time, but we're in Act 3, so we're going to wrap it up soon. But you can find everything that I'm doing at djstormageddon.com if it's not already here on Fun and Games. It's always a blast to do these milestone side quest episodes. If you want to do a little extra and participate in getting new episodes early, voting on our polls, a bunch of other stuff, we have a Patreon. But with all that said, thank you again, Jen and Gerry, for joining me. And we'll see you at the next milestone or the next episode one of us does individually. And until then, remember, happy gaming.
This is We Burlesque.
Hi, this is Victor Vaughn, and I run the We Burlesque Podcast Network. I am currently in my
7th
season of the We Burlesque Podcast, which began so many episodes ago, and I've been so delighted and intrigued to learn about our colleagues and our friends in the industry. So if you enjoy being a wallflower in the dressing room and hearing all about what we do, why we do it, and what's left to do, please go to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google, Libsyn, and probably some other ones I don't even know about. Oh, we're on Audible now. How neat is that? We're on frickin' Audible. Oh, so go to your platform of choice, hit subscribe when you find Weburlesque. That's WEBURLESQUE. I should know how to spell it by now. So, or you can go to weburlesquepodcast.com. That's all one word. That's WEBURLESQUEPODCAST.com. Yeah, that should do it. Or on Instagram at WEBURLESQUE. That's it. Hi. So, anyway, be well, be safe, and let's talk.
CPOV. CertainPOV.com.